All the way back. They gotta go to the back of the room, right? So why don't we put them in the back of the room?
You gotta run up here.
Now I've got to watch. I got the tripod here, so I'm sorry.
You gotta walk faster.
So they get the welcome they deserve. So we have time to welcome them, right? And if they're right here, 1 minute, they're clapping, they're here, right? So we need time to give them a proper welcome. So tonight the speakers are Janice Jordan and Michael Row. They're one of the most amazing entrepreneur power couples in Northern California, and together they will share tremendous value in a combined presentation. Tonight's topic is marketing and measuring the cost of acquiring a client. Everybody'd like to know what it costs to acquire a client.
Oh yeah.
Maybe you know. I know it can go up pretty high. Janice Jordan is a professional speaker, workshop leader, coach, and author. She is also the owner of Jordan's Referral Network, providing group and one-on-one coaching. Janice gives you tools and skills to take what you're already doing to the next level. If you are new to the business, she can hold your hand and show you the way. Michael Row is a certified Quickbooks expert. What sets him apart from every other expert out there is that Michael shows you how to use Quickbooks to understand what your business is doing. How many here in business and they keep their books, but they really don't know what their business is doing? They know it's doing something. So he also has a great program for direct sellers, MLMers, and real estate professionals. So without saying any more, I'd like to introduce our speakers tonight, Michael Row and Janice Jordan. Let's go.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
You can do better than that. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Well, good evening, and thank you for having us. As the introduction said, did you write that?
No.
I didn't write it all. Elias wrote all that.
I didn't even listen to it.
And just to let people know that Rebecca, person that gets paid for speaking, that's willing to come here for free, I get paid too. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Just joking. So that did go over.
No, we have this subject you could spend a week teaching people about. So this will just be an overview. But I welcome the opportunity. One of the things that I teach people in business, I actually have 6 questions I ask business owners, most of which can't answer, but maybe one of them, or maybe 5 or 10% can answer 1 or 2 of them. Most people can't answer even one of them. So we're going to deal with one of those questions tonight because it's something that we kind of share. She does the marketing side, and I do the analysis side to help you with some of that. So the way it'll work is I will focus on this one question: how much does it cost to acquire a client? Janice is going to open by talking about marketing programs, why it's important, those kinds of things, and then I will go ahead and pick up and continue to help you understand what marketing methods cost you and how much it costs to acquire a client, and then Janice will close it up probably with tracking and follow-up. If we have enough time, I will hit one little thing, one of the second questions, if we have time, to show you how to value your marketing and what order it should go. So I'm going to turn it over to Janice Jordan.
Okay, thanks, Michael. So, just a little before I start on this, Michael and I have known each other for over 20 years, but we've only been together for 5. And most people that see us and know us think that we've been together a lifetime. Well, this year is one of the first years that we are doing speaking as a couple instead of individual. So you guys get a special treat. So yay, yay. Okay. I'll be talking about the marketing piece of acquiring a client, and Michael's going to share how to measure it. Now, how many people actually do record keeping and keep track of your clients and your business now. It's actually more hands up than I expected. Most small businesses think that they don't make enough to do anything about it, and that's a mistake. So marketing also, I feel it's real important to have marketing tools and tips that you really should be measuring and marketing all the time and constantly looking at them and changing them. Okay? Marketing is a plan for your overall business, not just for acquiring clients. You should be doing everything to grow your business through marketing, not just acquiring clients. But because of time and whatever, we're talking just the client piece today, okay? And I lost my track already. I just started. All right, so when you're in a brand new business, a lot of times in a brand new business, people think the first thing to do is to run out and start doing advertising. Well, I'm known as the networking coach, so most of you know me as networking, but actually I have over 25 years in advertising sales. So advertising and that piece of marketing is a very strong tool for me. And people just run out when they first start a business and think that they have to buy advertising and advertise their business through print advertising. That's a mistake. You're spending a lot of money when you don't need to because people don't know you yet. They don't have any reason to do business with you yet. And pretty much you just started with an idea or something and it's not perfected yet. I don't feel you should wait till you perfect it to start your business, but start on your friends and family and small groups first and work your way up, okay? I like the smiles I saw on that, so some of you did not do it that way, and that's why you're smiling, or you're smiling because you did do it that way, and you're giving yourself kudos. So go for that, give yourself kudos. So you want to start with social media and getting the word of mouth and getting the word out there and networking before you start spending the money to advertise. Does that make sense? So you want to use the build it and they will come attitude. How many people saw that movie? I expect more hands are raised on that one, okay? So, and then you want to do your website and the print advertising after you've got some of the word of mouth and things going first, okay? So I think that there is 5 steps that you need to know to have good marketing, okay? The 5 steps are: make a clear and precise message, know your ideal client, be consistent, be the expert, and track and follow up. Okay? So the first one, make a clear and precise message. What's in it for them? Let them know what they're getting out of it. You really need to make that clear. Second, and most important, is do it in English. You know, common talk. If you are in a business where you have acronyms or technology words and all this medical field and you're using anything that ends in OMG or OGY, because people don't understand it, you know, technology. So you want to make it simple, treat it like a 3rd or 4th grader, and just explain it in a level that they can understand. Okay? Don't use the big technical words and jargons. Alright? And it needs to be pleasing to the sight and hearing. Okay? Number 2, ideal client. Now I can do an all-day workshop on ideal client. Ideal client is the most important thing that you can do, is you want to reach exactly to that ideal client. So let's do a little quick exercise, just for something fun, okay? Because I want to keep you guys awake and stuff. So since I want to keep you awake, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. Close your eyes, and I want you to picture your ideal client. I want to put a face on that person. Just picture that ideal client. Know what they eat for breakfast. Know what they do on the weekends. Know how much money they have. Do they have families? Do they have grandkids? Are they wealthy? Are they healthy? Do they have exercise programs? Just look at who that person is. That's your main focus from now on. Now feel how that person makes you feel and how they help your business. And have a big smile on your face and open your eyes. So how's that? So you know who that person is. That's who you target everything to. You target your advertising there. You target your networking there. You target all your marketing materials, your websites, everything to that ideal client. And all the rest of it will fall in. So if you picture one client, one or two products, and let them do that, the rest of it will come. They build it and they will come attitude. Okay? How does that sound so far?
Oh, great.
Doing good? Okay. Who remembers what number 3 was?
Consistent.
Be consistent. Yay, we get a prize.
Awesome. Wealth management.
Okay, so be consistent is just that. If you're advertising, it needs to be repetition. It has to go in there for a while. If you're going to do Penny Saver, sign up for 26 weeks, okay? Don't after 4 weeks go, this thing doesn't work, and quit, okay? You need to stay in there. You need to be repetition. Print ads takes 8 to 12 weeks or times or whatever. Join chambers, groups like this, but attend them. You need to be at them all the time. Be early, stay late, and let people know who you are and that they can depend and trust you in order to do business with you. Okay, and number 4, be the expert. When I say be the expert, I mean be the expert. Know your products inside and out, upside down and sideways. Your introduction, your clients, your enemies, your referrals, everything. Just know it all inside out, upside down, and sideways.
Own it.
And then, huh?
Own it.
Own it, okay? And number 5, I will tell you after we're done with Michael Row.
Thank you.
Oh,
Wow.
Anyway, that was very helpful, because one of the things is they're called marketing programs or campaigns for a reason. They're planned out. You don't just start doing things. You don't just start going out there. And Janice and I have been focusing really on this ideal client. Not that you don't sell other products and services, but you create a message that is uniform. And by having the ideal client, that's who you're constantly selling to. Doesn't mean you don't end up with other clients and other things. Now, if you've got a wide product line, you may have to tweak that a little bit, but having that constant message helps in your marketing. So, one of the things that we're going to talk about, and understand that as I do this, these are examples. It's hard to give in a short period of time a good in-depth example. These are hypothetical situations, but the system is what I'm trying to get you to understand. You need to be able to measure how much it costs to acquire a client. And why would you need to measure that? Well, if you know that the first sale to a client you make $50 on, and it costs you $75 to acquire that client, can you do that advertising? Well, you can. That's for a different class. But you do the advertising that costs less than $50 to acquire a client when you're going initially. When you've done all of that you can do, then you might use something else. So anyway, each business should have a marketing program or programs and campaigns, and they should be across the board. Some will use print, some will use media, some will use Facebook and networking groups and tips and all of that. For the sake of this, we're actually going to start with some print advertising so you can understand this. The thing is that most people know what it costs them to do their advertising. You sign up for a 26-week campaign with Penny Saver, and she's right. I've heard the statistic that when you hear a new song on the radio, you don't really hear it until the 4th or 5th or 6th time you actually hear it. And it takes at least that long before you recognize that you've heard it a few times and you like it or don't like it. So when you do 4-week campaign, you're kind of really hit and miss. You might get a few, but you're not going to get them. So whatever it is, and the advertising people will sell you the longer term because it makes more sense to them, but it really is an effective tool. So we have a 26-week campaign. Let's say it costs you $250 a week for whatever you're doing, whatever you sell. It doesn't matter if this is hypothetical. That's $6,500 for the 26 weeks. So, is that a good deal? Well, what's it depend on?
How many clients you get?
Exactly, that's the key. And one of the other questions I have people answer is what's the value of a client. So if you get enough clients and it makes sense. So you do $2,600 worth of advertising, a penny saver, and you generated $20,000 in business. Would you think that would be a good deal?
Yes.
You probably got to pick another zip code and do another one. Yeah. If you do $3,000 worth of business, yeah, maybe you need to tweak the ad or consider other options. So while it's important, the cost, it's more important to know what it generates. So we're only going to talk about clients tonight, number of new customers or clients, not the value of those, because that's a whole different subject. It takes a little more time. So let's say you track this. How do you track it? Well, what you should be doing anyway is, gee, how did you hear about us? So you get a client, call in, or come into the store, or online. One of the things you have to do, ask how they heard about you. Because otherwise you won't know how many clients you got. So, for the sake of this example, we'll say that you got 100 clients. 100 clients and it costs you $6,500. How much does it cost to acquire a single client? You take the cost, yes, you take the cost of the advertising divided by the number of new clients, and that'll tell you. So you would get $65 to get a new client. If you got 200 new clients over that 6-month period, it would cost you then $32.50. One of the things is, and we're not doing this as a study on it, but when you count these clients, there's 2 things you have to do, especially in print advertising. As Janice mentioned, it may be 8 or 10 impressions before people really are aware of it and make a decision. So you can't quit after 4 or 6 weeks or 8 weeks even, because you may have just started to pique the interest. So in counting this, you might not use the same 6 months you paid. You might use a month or 45 days each side of that to count. But having done that, let's just accept the fact that we got a client. So you don't want to stop too soon. Then let's take another example. Whether it's a chamber event or a LaTip BNI or a group like GNA or any other group like this, it's not harder to calculate, but it is a little harder to measure the cost. Because one of the things you have is, let's say it's a chamber, let's say it's Citrus Heights Chamber, and you decide to join that, and you think it'll be effective for your business, and so you join. Well, you have an annual dues, and we'll just, for the sake of this, say that that's $275. And let's say you decide you're going to be active, because don't join a chamber unless you're going to be active. Because Janice and I have heard this both from a lot of people. Oh, I joined a chamber and it just didn't work for me. And she asked, well, how many meetings did you go to? How many breakfasts did you go to? How many events did you go to? How many of the mixers? And they say none. Well, of course it wasn't effective. You didn't work. It's like the advertising, just starting to advertise. If you don't actually attend and get to be known, for most businesses that won't be effective. So let's say you go to the monthly luncheon or breakfast, whatever they have, and it costs you $20 a month, okay? Then what happens is that brings your total then to $240 for the same 6-month period, okay? And then they have a big show day, and you decide to buy a vendor table. whatever your total costs are, you have to add those up. Now in this, different than the advertising, because of the fact that you probably drove to these, you probably need to keep track of the mileage and the cost. And then you may want to factor in some time. How much time does it take you to do that? A meeting like this is not just the cost of the meal, but if you charge $50 an hour, you're here 2 hours, you have to consider that as a cost. Now, early on in your business, when you have more time than customers, that cost is less tangible. But, and especially like these that are at night, it's a little less tangible. You're probably not meeting with clients. But it is still a cost that you want to factor in there and figure in how much it costs to acquire a client. You have to add up all of those costs. And in this case, we'll say that this costs you $1,500 for a year's membership. And you acquire 50 clients, then your cost is going to be
Offset?
$30 a person, or $30 per client. So that's how you do that. That's the math of it. Now, a couple of things that I talked about that we want to clarify. You get a referral from somebody. Where do you put that referral? Well, a lot of people get it and put it as a referral. I don't, because if you want to measure the effectiveness of your advertising, you actually take the customer that referred you and put the same thing for their advertising. So if you got this referral from the person that came through the chamber, you add that to the count. Because if you hadn't got that chamber member or that penny saver member, you wouldn't have got the second one. So second, third, fourth generations go not to referral, they go back to the original source, how that referral came to you, because they really came there. And that will skew it up. So over time, you'll see that I got more than 100 members, because I got 100 clients for the penny saver thing, but I got 12 referrals off of that. Now all of a sudden, I'm at 112 clients. So that is an important factor, because otherwise you're not really measuring it. Now, what are referrals? Truly, if a friend or an acquaintance or a family member refers somebody, they didn't come to you that way. If it's a customer that you've had since you bought the business, again, that's a referral, not to the others. But that's how you measure it. So that kind of is a very brief summary of that. I don't want to say that that's all encompassing, but it gives you an idea, and you ought to be able to know what it costs to acquire a client in each marketing campaign or thing you use. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Janice.
And I think the best way to track that is through Quickbooks. And I'm not saying that just because I'm married to Mr. Quickbooks, because I used Quickbooks before I married him. And it is a great form to track what you're doing in your advertising and how to know the value of your client. Also, now I'm going to plug, because he knows QuickBooks inside out, upside down, and sideways, like you should, and he can train you how to get the reports that help you know what the value of your client is, and to know what advertising things you should be doing. So if you're networking at 5 events a week, and you're wondering which one is bringing in what, I highly recommend having him come in and show you how to set up your QuickBooks so you can track what is going on there. Okay, so enough on plugging him, and I'll go back to where I left off. Who knows where I left off? Number 5. Number 5. And number 5 was?
Track and follow up.
Yeah, what a good group. You're paying attention. This is cool. This is fun. We should do this more often. This is fun. Okay, so tracking and following up. You should always track. Tracking is important. You need to track all your clients that you get coming in, track your referrals. I agree with him on the fact that you put it to the original that brought it in, but if you're doing a contact management system, you also put the referral on the person who gave you the referral. I have a great tracking system in my book. It's More Than Wine and Meatballs. Okay, so and I have copies here if you want to know about that. Had to put in a plug for me since I put in a plug for him. So tracking is really important. always ask where they heard from you, if it's through a print advertising or media or something. And you know, something else to ask, how many times that they saw that ad before they contacted you? Because if somebody says that they seen the ad in the Penny Saver, say, we're going to just stay with the Penny Saver. I did work for the Penny Saver, by the way. I was one of the top members. So, I worked for the Penny Saver. So, if they say that they saw your ad 4 times before they called you, that gives you an idea of how many times it's in there and what kind of traction it's getting. It also gives you an idea of, okay, it's been in there a month before they noticed it, maybe I need to do some tweaking and perk the ad up a little bit, okay? So that gives you an idea by asking not only where did they hear it from, but how many times do they have to see it before they acted on it. And my favorite thing, I guess it's my favorite thing, I think in marketing and networking, you are marketing and networking and doing absolutely nothing but socializing and having fun if you don't follow up. So, again, in my book, I have a chapter called Follow Up, Follow Up, Follow Up. That's how important following up is. You need to follow up. You need to send out emails, phone calls, thank you cards, whatever it takes to follow up on that advertising and networking and marketing. Okay, there are ways to follow up on Facebook and LinkedIn and social media. There's ways to follow up on your print ads and who's responding. Okay, put a little code in your ad if you're using Penny Saver or some of those other ones so that you can track which week that they saw it and what they're doing with it. Put in a free offer. Put in an offer just in the bottom of the ad that you think that people couldn't see and say, respond to this ad for 100 networking tips. Okay? Those people that respond to that ad, you know what's working and it gives you an idea of what's going on and you can track it from there. And take those 100 marketing tips that you're giving them, in order for them to get it, what do they have to give you?
Email.
Okay, well, money's good. I like money, but email address. So that gives you a chance to build your database. I think I got to work that out so that they give me money and
email first, then money after that. Yeah, that's how it normally works.
I don't know. Okay, anybody wants to give me your email address, it'll cost you $1. I'm kidding.
Maybe.
Oh man.
So my third job that I have is I'm a stand-up comedian, so you have to bear with me because sometimes I forget just which one I'm doing. Okay, so that's tracking and follow-up. Follow-up is really important, but I want to make 2 more little points before I hand it back over to Michael and we're about done here. Is all marketing tools should be uniform. Your brochures, your advertisements, your Facebook, your website, your business card, your flyers, everything should be uniform so that they see it, it always reflects back to you and they remember and it's consistent. It should be an even window all the way around, okay? And every single one of those things should ask for the referral. You should ask for the referral by giving 2 business cards. You should ask for the referral on your email address. You should, your little signature thing. Ask it on your website. Everything. Ask for the referral. And I also have a workshop coming up, a webinar coming up on referral. Offer or a gift. Like on your website, offer 100 networking tips or something about your business that you can give away when they sign up. 2. Offer what they want. Give them what they need. Let me repeat that one because that one's really kind of tricky and it's really cool. Offer what they want, but give them what they need. And number 3, promise little, give more. And number 4, follow up, follow up, follow up. Okay. So now, how are we on time?
another 15 minutes.
We got 15 minutes, okay?
You can do Q&A if you want, whatever you want to do.
I'll give it back to Michael, and then we'll do some Q&A.
Thank you, Janice. Yeah, that's how she captured me. She knew what I wanted, but she gave me what I needed. Yeah, and then the follow-up. Anyway, I told you a little teaser about how you figure out which advertising to use first, and I kind of hit at it. And that is, and I'm not going to tell you how to do this because it's more than we can cover even in 15 minutes or even in the whole half hour, is you have to figure out what the value of a client is. There's two values for a client. One is the first contact or first sale to that client, what's that value? And the second one's the lifetime value of the client. So as I pointed out when we first started, if a client, the value of the first sale to a client is $50, your advertising that you should do first is under $50 to acquire a client. Otherwise, you go in the hole on the first sale. Now, if you're in a business where you only sell to them once, you can never do that. But if you're in a business where the lifetime value of a client is $1,000, then after you've done all of that advertising that costs less to acquire them than it produces, then you can do some of the other advertising. But you want to stack it up with the ones that cost you the less and produce the best results initially, and then expand out, because that will maximize your return on that advertising dollar. So with that, I'm going to bring Janice back up, and we'll answer any questions if you have them.
But you guys are not singing. You're not singing.
No, I don't sing. He sings. He does karaoke. He's done karaoke since the early 1990s, and he's a very famous karaoke company in Sacramento. And I don't sing, but I was not kidding. I do stand-up comedy that I've done nothing for, and they are just loving on me big time. I need to step up. Or if it's a 50-50, then I really need to focus on that person because I want 4 more like them. Okay? So you want to be able to track it that way and back to the individual as well as, like Michael said, the organization, so that you can not only know the value bottom line money-wise, but you want to know the value of the give and get relationship and how things are working that way. Because if you're doing all the giving and no receiving coming back, you really need to fire them. And I know a lot of people, when I tell you that you need to tell your customer to go away, you don't want to do that, but you got to learn to say no and fire your customers if you are doing all the work and they're doing it.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Here's maybe a chance to jump in and say something else too. Let's say you're a realtor and you get a referral from somebody that puts $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 in your pocket. Maybe you ought to spring for a gift card for a nice restaurant.
Yeah, not a $10 Starbucks.
Yes, but if you're in a business where your margin, you have a lot of small sales and your margin's $10, you obviously can't do that. But over time, like what she said, by tracking not the financial side but the benefit side, you may want to reward a client periodically for frequent referrals. So.
And look at your networking events and your advertising and things as the cost. A lot of times when somebody will say, okay, this event over here costs $400 to join a year, and this one over here is free, okay, or is $100 a year. So this is the one I want to be in because it's least expensive. Not necessarily. It all depends on which one's going to give you the most return. And this one that's $100 or free, you have to pay for your transportation to get there. You have to pay for your meals. It's a weekly thing over a monthly thing. And when you add them all up, it ends up this one's more expensive than the one that costs $400 out front. So you got to look at them and look at what you get back from it to determine which is the better deal. And again, if you're at a place that's not your ideal client, it's not bringing you the best return on your investment, then you have to say bye-bye. Okay? Which again, for a lot of people is hard because you're really thinking you're cutting off income coming in and you're not. Okay? You're wasting time over there. Find a place where you can get more and spend your time someplace else.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you're not getting anything from the organization, recognize you're not networking. You're just socializing. And if you really like the people, maybe that's okay, but don't really think that you're marketing. Any other questions?
How about business cards? You got them?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. You got it?
Oh, actually, that's a good point. After you're done, I was going to come up and actually get one in a bucket or something to do a mastermind session.
Yeah.
Normally at the end of this, we'll do that, and we'll talk more about that.
Let you go ahead and talk about this.
Okay.
I know you're excited about that.
I'm not really, when I'm up here speaking and stuff, I'm not big on plugging. I make a joke when I talk and I plug the book and stuff. But, and Elias gave us permission to plug. But I got to do something shamelessly because I am so stinking excited. Okay? I did not know what I was going to do with Jordan's Referral Network this year, and I have gotten an amazing opportunity. And I want to share with you guys because you guys are the first to hear this as a group.
Wow.
Okay? I'm excited. I gotta get excited because this is exciting.
Is there a change coming?
There's a change coming. Jordan's Referral Network is now Jordan's Referral Destination Network.
Wow.
And we are going to do destination networking events. So we are going to go to different locations and network on the way there, at the event, on the way home. So we're going to actually do, are you ready? Speed networking on the bus on the way down. Is that cool?
Wow. Bouncing chair to chair.
We're going to be doing networking training on the bus. We're going to really give you a full business experience. You're going to be on the bus with 50 other people, and we're going to have some fun destinations. The first one is in April, and it's going to be at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Is that fun? It's fun. And we're going to have 2 free hours to explore Cannery Row. We're going to be networking on the way down and back, and we're going to have raffle prizes. And it's April 24th. We leave at 7:30 in the morning and come back at 8 o'clock at night. We're going to do places like Carmel. Who wants to go to Carmel?
Been there. Beautiful. Beautiful.
We're gonna do Carmel. We're gonna do the 14-mile road thing.
17-mile drive.
We're gonna do 17-mile drive. And we're gonna end at Pebble Beach Golf Course, and then come back. Now is that cool?
Oh yeah.
Okay. We're doing Yosemite, and we're gonna do a couple other things, maybe Pier 39 and a ferry and stuff like that. So. We're doing destination networking. Does that sound exciting?
Yeah, that does.
I don't know anybody else doing this yet. So you're going to get to, how did we say that?
Destination networking, an event that takes you places.
Yeah. How's that? An event that takes you places.
Oh, you rebranded, Janice. That's awesome. That's a great idea.
This is cool.
That is cool.
So I don't know anybody else doing that. So
No.
Especially you don't have to drive or nothing, just get on the bus.
Yeah. The better price, the better fact of the whole thing is you're going to get down there and back. Okay, if anybody priced the cost for the stuff, down and back and networking for $149.
Not bad.
Is that cool?
It's not bad.
So that's my plug. Anything else?
Well, I will say, one of the things that I teach people, and not just about QuickBooks, don't do accounting to get financial statements and don't do accounting to do your taxes. Those are both important, I get that. But the primary reason a business owner should do accounting and bookkeeping is to get information to drive their business. And that's what I teach you and that's what I help you with in QuickBooks. If it's designed right, you will get the financial statement and you will get the information to do your taxes, but as a byproduct, getting information. That's why this question tonight, how much does it cost to acquire a client? This is kind of the information we want. Getting a financial statement may or may not give that to you unless it's set up correctly. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Big round of applause for Janice and Michael.
Thank you. Thank you, Janice and Mike. That was an awesome presentation. Loved it. So wait, are you collecting?
Yeah.